Hi, this is Dan Sullivan. I'd like to welcome you to the Multiplier Mindset Podcast. When you look at how Strategic Coach got going, it was actually a tool that I created when I was still a one-on-one coach back in 1982. It was called the Strategy Circle. To this day, it's actually the source code for every other concept and tool in the program. It's based on a formula that we call VODA: vision, obstacles, transformation, and action. So what we do with the strategy circle and how the voter process actually works is that you have a vision of a bigger and better result in the future. That's part of our great brain ability that we have as human beings, is that we can actually see into the future and imagine. We can almost experience emotionally and visually a future result. We don't have any proof of it yet, but we can actually experience it. And that's immediately followed by another great ability that we have, that once we see something that we want in the future, our brain can immediately tell you all the reasons why that can't happen. It'll throw up obstacles. So you have the vision, that's one ability, and then you have obstacles, that's a second ability. And then the third ability is that if we look at them individually, we can take the obstacles and we can transform them into a decision or a communication that leads to action, which is the fourth ability that comes out of this. So there's all these abilities we have, and everybody who's really successful actually follows this formula, whether they know it or not. But I just noticed that the whole issue of allowing yourself, after you have a vision of something you'd really like to have in the future, of actually allowing yourself to let all the obstacles come up and actually treat the obstacles as an official part of the solution. Official part. A lot of individuals who have read a lot of self-help books which say don't allow yourself to think negatively. I notice a lot of these individuals never really get very far, because the most valuable thing that your brain is doing when you have a vision is actually to tell you what has to be solved, what has to be overcome, what has to be transformed. So the obstacles are crucial to actually making a breakthrough that would correspond to your vision. And in order to even have sort of a transformation, you have to have something to transform. And what gets transformed in this process are the obstacles. So a brand new entrepreneur and strategic coach saw the strategy circle sheet in his first workshop, and he was very struck by a phrase that goes along the bottom of the sheet, which says, all those things which seem to oppose our goals are actually the raw material for achieving our goals. And he was very struck by this, and he was so insistent that he needed to get to the bottom of this phrase, raw material, that he set up a phone call with me. He said, do you really mean that the obstacles are the raw material? And I said, yes, absolutely. My whole concept of the strategy circle and the VODA formula is really based on the importance of the obstacles, and that you have to look into them a little bit more deeply, because what the obstacles actually are is your brain's best first attempt to actually give you the means by which you're going to achieve your vision that you state. If you articulate how something's going to be and it's measurable on a certain date in the future. And what the obstacles allow you to do is to transform what seems to oppose your vision into the actual actions which bring the vision about. If you really get this, if you really sit back and you take a look at taking obstacles seriously, and that's opposition from anywhere. The opposition may come from your own mind, but it may come from outside of you. It may come from the circumstances that you're in. They may not be immediately supportive of where you want to go. They can be in the form of other people's opposition, pushing back against your vision. So this really brings up a crucial point in every person's life. How do you handle obstacles? What I notice is that unsuccessful people handle obstacles in this way. They say, well, there's obstacles. This means it's the end of the vision. I just can't go forward because there's no support for it. So that's why they're really unsuccessful, because the moment they experience an obstacle related to something that they would really like to have, then they stop. It's the end. Obstacles are the end. Really successful people, the obstacles are actually the beginning. They have the vision, but they don't expect the world to give them the vision. They don't expect the world just to support them and open doors for them. No, that's not how the world works. It's your idea. It's not the world's idea that you're after here. So you're going to have to work for it. And the way you have to work for it is that you have to be willing, first of all, to state the vision, put measurements on the vision, and put a deadline on the vision. And then you have to give yourself an opportunity for a few minutes. It doesn't have to be more than 10 minutes. You can state all the obstacles in a very short period of time, and then look at each of the obstacles and ask yourself the question, what is a decision I can make? What is a communication I can take? What's an action that I can take that will move me away from this obstacle towards the vision? The moment you allow your brain just to focus in on each obstacle, let's say you have 8 to 10 obstacles that prevent where you're going, the moment that you allow yourself to just focus, you'll immediately think of forward motion. So each of the obstacles within a very short period of time lays out a game plan for you. The proper game plan for you in moving towards your vision that you want to achieve in the future is created by the obstacles. It's a wonderful philosophy of life. All those things which seem to oppose our goals are actually the raw material for achieving them. So each of those obstacles, anything that's a deficiency, or it's actual opposition, or the circumstances are not correct, or you don't have support, write them down. And then the moment that you write them down, your brain will immediately start this marvelous transformative process, which the human brain can do if it knows what the vision is, if it knows what the deadline is, if it knows what the measurement is. Then every obstacle will immediately become true raw material for achieving those goals. And this means that you can never be stopped. This means that anything you set your mind to, that if you're willing to encounter the obstacles that stand in the way, you can move forward, and then you can get other people to help you. The obstacles will tell you the teamwork that you need to actually arrive at the vision. You can do this once, you can do it 10 times, you can do it 100 times. And that means never in the course of your life, with any vision that you have, will any obstacles stop you from getting there. Quite the opposite. The obstacles will actually help you get to the vision.